You are watching Eswatini TV, Sibuko Semaswati.
Few viewers at home are waiting to hear what's going to happen on this Monday, the 21st of September, the year 2020. Hello and welcome. A beautiful show indeed this Monday, where we are live on different platforms. It could be on Skujane, wherever you are at home in your comfort zone, in your seat, and on different platforms, being YouTube. And of course, do not forget to subscribe. Otherwise, it's going to be a great show for the next 57 minutes, where we touch on different activities that took over the weekend. Cricket T20. A grand finale between Park 11 and Dallas were taking center stage at the Mackenzie Country Club. We'll take a look at that, how the game went, and the performance displayed by the two clubs as they were facing each other. Otherwise, tennis, another event was held over the weekend, washed away by the current conditions of the weather. We'll also touch on that and how they're going to once again to go back to the games in 2 weeks in time. Otherwise, different sporting codes, pool. Those are some of the sporting codes I would say, since government gave them a green light to proceed, they have not disappointed us. Every weekend they're active. Otherwise, the grand stage was at Happy Valley, where we saw the new chairman of the Premier League of Eswatini, Mark Michael, not a new face in the football industry, having of course at some point, at some area, occupied the position for a specific short period of time. We'll touch on that, but more deliberation on that is going to be on Thursday, Eswatini. Otherwise, internationally, a lot to talk about. France, we saw a new winner of the Tour de France at the age of 21. A young poker from all the way Slovenia is the champions. Talk about the likes of Italian Open, number one worldwide, Novak Djokovic once again into the finals after defeating Casper Ruud. All that, I'm already in the company of Linda Dlamini. My spot.
Ngiyaphila sibalo wami Monday ebusuku ngithemba ukuthi ubone weekend lenhle ngithoba lokukhulu ngivusela imali yalivio wasekhaya.
Asisho ukuthi master kwanyalo nasila no some of the team was start ikhuluma, it's all about ukuthuthukisa sports la kangwane. We are not fighting anyone.
I'm happy ukumentionile lokho Fabrice. Whenever sikhuluma thina tinvo la suke sikude mhlambe umumvu lesithi siyamenyaya noma les against yena. Thina sikhuluma in fact Fabrice thina sisendela ukuthi ema viewers sibe informative kulama viewers phinze sifundzise. So ngicaba ukuthi siba update, ngicaba ukuthi thina singilelulimi labo siliso labo sithathela bona sambe sibabekele emakhaya njengoba kunjalo.
Now if you are a loyal viewer, if you watch the program on Monday uphinze ubukele ngalesine utawathi ukuthi master for the past 2 or 3 years unama reliable sources. Lama reliable sources ngasho ukuthi at this point in time ngicela kumvumisa ukuthi singayathemba, because master said something and Saturday when I was occupying a specific seat in a specific room at Happy Valley during the AGM, you mentioned someone who's going to withdraw during the elections, and we saw Sicelo Mkhonda withdrawing. So those reliable sources, please, congratulations, and please pass our regards to say we can rely on them. You said it, I think, 3 weeks prior to the AGM, that someone will step down, and took place. We'll touch on that when it's time. Of course, we enter into the discussion. Of course, weekend cricket is the top item to look at on the agenda. I mean, sikhulumile about a month ago, sakhuluma ukuthi cricket was one of lama sporting codes. They had fallen mvumo ukuthi angaqhubeka adlale. We saw Park 11 the other time adlala one of top teams, but this time around they faced Dallas in the T20. So it's another sport with a passion in terms of following and knowing how it's played and knowing the ins and out of the sport. But what a game it was. Park 11 once again champion, but it was a different page in the industry, local.
Finally, Fabrice, there is a team lekhonile kushaya iPark 11 sitakhumbula ukuthi about a month ago yona iPark 11 yafika kumancamu esizini lendlula neRotania yawina ke iPark 11 lebe seyiwina lenkomishi ku 3 bafikile futhi ngeweekend kuma finals badlala neData 11 lengicaba ukuthi vele bebane task lematima kakhulu ukuthi bashaye the so called invincibles but on the day ngicaba ukuthi captain wayo iData 11 asimnikeni credit because wafuna ukuthi itoss wayiwina ukuthi babhethe kuqala nababhethe kuqala ngisho ukuthi bashaye indvuku ngalendvuku kuqala bona bakhona kwenda lokho bebenta inike Fabrice kwenda njalo bebendela ukuthi basethele target bayisetha ki target vele 149
laba beblue bo datas yes
idatas lele blue bese kuthi lelenye iPark 11 ngalesi sikhathi lesanje bese kubhola idatas seyibhola seyifuna kukhokha iPark 11 seyifuna ukuthi ingafiki lo 149 luckily ke nayicala iData 11 nayicala uyaqala openers usha 39 runs lengicaba ukuthi is a very very good batsman yena openers wamsha 39 runs ku 25 balls lengicaba ukuthi vele nawubuka ukuthi le data akusiyo i-team lebe siyinake kakhulu because uyakhumbula ukuthi njengoba sengishilo sicala kwafika iRotania nayo iPark 11 iData beyifikile ma finals for the first time in 3 years lengicaba ukuthi ikhona le balance nawubuka ukuthi kuma bowlers abo nama batsmen uyabuka ukuthi i balance ikhona bamthola 39 runs i batsman yeqala ba partnerisha na Safman naye uyamthola 28 runs ngicaba ukuthi beyicishe ikhona le balance nale partnership uyayibona ukuthi beyicishe ihamba but ngale ku Park 11 remember the captain lo afika la studio yena Jawad Mohammed very very good fast bowler.
So this is a Park 11. They have got a blue, there's a greenish in their blue, of course.
Yes,
the colors are dominated by the green. Nasibuka nama teams na two master Park 11 of course ngasho ukuthi
yes. Look at the visual ephumile ngesikhathi kuphuma le Batman ye Park 11 I love ukuthi siphinze siyibone nasaphuma ubuke le mtimba ukuthi le body language I show something ngakutshela ke Fabrice nasisibona lesithombe ukuthi bekusho kuthini
ile body language yalomdlalo
bese kuyi wicket yes 3 kuma over lamangaki lang2
Shosi bengathi mputinga
shosi amabhola lang 12 amabhola bese kuphuma 3 ama wickets.
Wow.
So uyabona ukuthi lama batsman vele ibond language yabo beyikhombisa lo sitinvo atihambi kahle ababoni basicover scores 149 lebe sisethwe ngiyo iData 11.
And of course knowing ukuthi master sorry Park 11 nasibuka igame yabo na Rotania about 2 or 3 months ago they seemed really on top of things. Ucabanga ukuthi kwendekene on the day master ukuthi maybe iData sigcine ihambe empili
ngicabanga ukuthi kuthola Fabrice ku1 nawedlala njengoba ngishilo ukuthi captain wenu kumele understand ma strength ema opponents bekade ukuthi wasetha iscore itarget for against iPark 11 baba ne challenge kuyokhona lokuyi match wakhona ke kwenda lokhu bona basetha le target base bayabuya ke Fabrice babuya bakhona ukuthi kulo first cause uyayewenda show ukuthi kulo first 3 or 4 overs uyamthola 3 wickets then bata panic cause kunale pecking order ka cricket kuqala the strongest batsman if utawukhona ukuthi ukhokhe the first 3 then la 4 number 4 number 5 number 6 abasesiko strong kuyofika lentasi wakhokha nje lo first 3 bakhona ke bona ku first 3 overs ukuthi bakhokhe ema wickets lang 3 base ba panic ke bonke lalabalenzelako yes yawina iData 11.
It was a beautiful game indeed, and of course having seen a high performance on both sides, you look at how Park 11 performed on the day, you look at Datas who are the champions and how they performed. Looking at the pictures, of course they were just leading themselves to the trophies to also be crowned champions. The two captains of the sides of course had something to say. As we look at those pictures, we take a look at what they had to say, especially Data's captain saying that the focus is already on the new challenge. Listen to this. quite of in terms of singasho ukuthi excitement nokukhombisa ukuthi vele they deserve that day, but master nawubuka the level of cricket locally, what you've seen, maybe banabanenge bebacabanga ukuthi maybe Park 11 tawupins dominate, but this is what we want, competition. And I think having followed the sport itself in how it's going in the country, look at the cricket, siguphi kuyiphi level mas nawubuka
after kubuye kunakubuya ku lockdown ivunyelwa icricket ukuthi iseyingabuya idlala, ngicabanga ukuthi ngabuka vele ukuthi sekuningi lele team leti bobona indlela lababhola ngalo, yes bayidlala le cricket onke lamalanga, but bese banesikhathi vele bangayidlala. But after ema games weekend nawubuka onke lama bowlers, ubuka onke nalama batsmen, cishe uyabona losile improvement ikhona season 2 lona wabo we cricket nyalo nga 2020, because loya wabe ku season 1 ku 2020, but awusukela lo munye season lengicabanga ukuthi vele kancane iyenyuka le competition. Now ubuka nje ukuthi after 3 udinkomishi tilandzelana iPark 11 itiwina, here comes Dada 11 ifike yabahlula convincingly, I must say, because now ubuka ukuthi 414 bahlule nga 39 runs, so 36 runs sorry. So uyabona ukuthi vele batimisele kakhulu bayenda ne game plan yabo, ngicabanga ukuthi ne weather beyibavuma on the day.
Quite happy of course from the pictures, and I think just from the captain, I want us to pick from his own words, master kusho ukuthi beating the captain, and in terms of the excitement, what was he expressing, what happened on the day, from here where are they heading as a club? This is Dada's captain expressing the joy after lifting the T20 season 2. Listen.
No, we want to win more and more games, and we want to be champion again. There's no compromise, because as we've been expected to win all the tournaments from all the people around, because we are one of the strongest team. And since our captain is no more, we think we need to tighten up more, get more players, good players, and keep this team going in the memory of late Mr. Rafiq.
Our guys are a bit relaxed. They thought it is an easy target, but somehow the other team, the Checkers, they bowled really well. So we should stand there. We need some partnership. Unfortunately, we was unable to do that. But hopefully, we will come back again with more hard things. So we will try our best for the next tournament. Truly speaking, from first over, it was a pressure. So there are some points. We thought that we are recovering. We are doing things in our side. We can cover up the losses we made that initially. But at the end, the other team, they bowled well. We fought before the target. Yeah.
The two captains, of course, from the two sides expressing their way of how the game went. Listening from the captain of Dadas, who spoke first, and I think they are already completely switched on to the next stage, which is supposed to be the season 3 beginning soon. And of course, I think the game was being played in the honor of their former captain who passed away. May his soul rest in peace. I mean, I saw a bit of emotions in his eyes now. Their last game, when the captain was involved, and according to the sources heading to this show, we also heard that they lost a key man. Winning a game like this, winning a tournament like this, and having lost the captain and of his caliber, he must be really a good player. Knowing how this team also is a good team, Singasho this team won this tournament, of course, in his tribute, master.
In fact, Fabrice kukutshela kona ema leaders la khona kule team, because kulikhona kungena ecatfuleni ta captain ufike ukhona kuleader I team ku glory si end ke lo captain ube part of le tournament le uyidlalile. In fact a game before le final wayidlala, so ngicabanga ukuthi vele yona I Dada 11 be deserve ukuwina le nkomishi lena honorisha yena their late captain. Singasho nje sithi may his soul rest in peace, bese siyasho sithi congratulations kuyo Dada's 11 ngekuwina season 2 2020 cricket T20.
Having missed on this trophy, master, Park 11 is moving the captain why Park 11 in nice glasses, looking comfortable. They are runners up, so there's nothing much to be pressured on. They are former champions for the season 1, so we are it was not an easy day. It was a tough game. This is the man leading the Park 11. So much respect, of course, as they're receiving their medals, of course, taking out the cape. And this is beautiful. Sport with discipline, it's something that goes together. But having seen this master, Gangane, maybe before we carry on and talk about the league, Singatsini in terms of national team cricket, have we got what it takes to go there and play your Zimbabwe? Siyathi ukuthi mavela afana nabo Zimbabwe, South Africa, they are ahead now ukhuluma cricket. Siguphi in terms of national team? Nawubuka the performance of the two teams over the weekend.
Yeah. Still long way to go, I must say. No, so bala South Africa and Zimbabwe, two of the best cricket teams in Africa. So ngicabanga ukuthi vele inze kakhulu indlela, but these two basibukele i-final enhle kakhulu njengoba kushilo ukuthi iData 11 ikhonile kushaya 149 wema runs ku 18.5 wema overs. So ngicabanga nje ukuthi badlale kahle kakhulu, ngibo labasethe le pace, labasethe le target. iPark 11 bese siyafika yona yaphelela ku 113 kani overs abo 16.4. Ngicabanga nje ukuthi idlale kahle kakhulu iData 11.
Nangibuka in the comment lela industry matsa it's iData 11 won by 36 runs.
Yes.
Kule language yase cricket sho ukuthi umuntu wakushaya nga 36 runs usuka kushayile mbamba master.
Usuka kushayile Fabrice, usuka kushaya impela. Nawubuka lokuthi ama wickets abawakhokhe onke, yes, nePark 11 ikhonile kuyibhola out yonke iData 11. Yabuya neData 11 nasebhola yona. Yababhola bonke bangafiki kulo 149. Lokusho ukuthi vele 39 noma 36 oma runs. Ngicabanga ukuthi score leso lesi nawubuka ukuthi i-performance yayo iPark 11 ngicabanga ukuthi sikhulu kakhulu, at least kube sikhuluma mhlambe ngabo 80 wama runs, ngabe siyasho ukuthi cha bekushubile impela, but credit ayekhona kuData 11. Homework yabo bayendile kakhulu, bayastudisha ama strength sayo iPark 11, ba understand ukuthi badlala ngakuphi, ba strong ngakuphi.
A couple of teams, a lot of teams, good teams. Talk about Rotania, Park 11, Dadas, but you talk about 8 teams to finish the calendar of the year, master. Is there a need maybe to increase the number of teams, or 8 is enough? Let's keep the crop of the teams we have. 8 is okay. Get the balance, get the best teams. Maybe also, what's your take on that?
See, if yes, my teams vele uyatsinga ukuthi abe maningi cause nako mancane sheshiphelele league, not unless but ushintsha le format ya le league ukuthi at least kudlalo 3 times then lapho ema games asaba maningi kakhulu, but now xa uchube kudlale nemvumo munye nangabe nje ngiyakushaya ngikushaye 3 times ngicabanga ukuthi indaba bede competition, but lele nkubonile mina lapha ku between the two teams ngicabanga ukuthi kuhle, yes mhlambe le score vele asiso kahle ngala ku Park 11, but ngicabanga ukuthi kuhle kakhulu nawubuka ukuthi cause sesithi angithi T20 lena ina 20 ma overs. If I team tawukhona ukuthi uyibhole out ingafiki ku 20 ma ingamcetse onke lo 20 ma over, ngicabanga ukuthi ni good ngala kulama bhola but nangale iData 11 njoba ngishilo ukuthi yayenda ihomework yabo. Nawubuka nje ukuthi Jawad Mohammed yes wamthola 4 wickets, but bebenda sure ukuthi nangabe ashaya le wicket yakhe kuma overs lang 3 noma lang 6 akawamtholi lawo ma wickets. Ngicabanga nje ukuthi ibalance njoba sengishilo ukuthi ikhona, sho sibo coach bakhona ku cricket ke kusebenza na kakhulu bo captain nabo ke ngicabanga ukuthi ba very good.
They have it, beautiful stuff, of course, all the way from Malken's Country Club over the weekend. Of course, congratulations once again for Dadas for being the T20 over champions for the season 2. Otherwise, that is a beautiful analysis from Mr. Dlamini. That's not the only sporting activity that was active over the weekend. You talk about tennis. Aces tournament was also in stage 2. Well, this time around, there was a presence of a female aspect. We saw the first, round where we were only entertained in the first phase. We were only entertained with, of course, male. This time around, female were involved, and it was a beautiful weekend. But before we get into the details, this was what was happening at the Olympic Tennis Center, Lobamba. Take a look at this. Once again, beautiful stuff all the way from Lobamba. Of course, the rain had to wash away the tournament. One would say at this point in time, they did not finish, and we don't have the actual winners of the tournament yet to be confirmed in the next stages, of course, to be finished. But otherwise, a beautiful tournament. Master Nasbugati Tombe, involvement of the ladies. Sorry for the language, we mentioned female. I think in the sport area, for ladies is the right word to use, because now it's female and that's so categorized in a specific area. So in the ladies category, we saw also this time around being involved. Now Kuruma would see juniors, Bolo Fla, they were there. Talk about it was a good gathering. Master, this is what we want for the sport. I want to say I noted something about the facility, Master. Yeah.
Fabrice ngicabanga ukuthi i-facility siyati sike sayidumisa i-facility yakalobamba, but nawubuka le ndlela leseyingiyele court so ngafika ukuthi kudlalwa ku clay. Siyathi ukuthi i-tennis court ihlukene, khona la kudlalwa khona ku clay, khona la kudlalwa khona normal. Ngicabanga ukuthi uyabona la so ngafika ukuthi ngilike le favorite court yakhe yena Rafael Nadal kana kusiko. Ngicabanga ukuthi ngile ndlela le yakhe wangayo Fabrice kufike kume emandi whenever lina, so ngicabanga ukuthi next time batawuthola i-right balance ukuthi bakhona ukuthi bakha i-court le-right letaba nema latawukhona khona ukuthi emanti angahlali ahambe.
We're going into the rain activities and everything, but we start from Saturdays and looking at the action and results. Of course, talking about the likes of Rafa Nadal, it's a beautiful thing. We've got the future of those stars. You talk about guys like Bosubsiso and others. What did you note of Saturday's actions? Now,
oh yes, so Fabrice ukhuluma ngama-games Saturday. Sambona na Hayden Loeffler adlala naye Eswatini Khumalo. Ngicabanga ukuthi na Hayden Loeffler wabe so wayiwina le game against Eswatini Khumalo, wabe so
just 2 sets, 6-0 beautiful,
clean. Yeah, he's coming up okay. Udlala kahle kakhulu vele, uyabonakalisa ukuthi uyafuna kufika esigabeni sabo Bruce. Asadi ukuthi nini, but ngicabanga ukuthi ngale ndlela ladlala ngayo uyafuna lokufika esigabeni sabo Bruce. But naye Eswatini Khumalo ngicabanga ukuthi wadlala, but on the day bekangekho lama lapses in concentration bobona lothi akhona, but ngicabanga ukuthi it was a good day because yena ukhuluma ngema-men ukhuluma ngama-women. And ngiyakhumbula ke president nabacetha kumbeka esikhundleni wakhuluma kakhulu ngetinto leting2 Fabrice. Wakhuluma kakhulu nge-women ukuthi batayibuyisa ku last tournament ayibanga ababanga khona besimame abadlalanga. Washo president ukuthi next tournament batabe bakhona. Fortunately, and I'm happy for women all over the country ba represented and badlala kahle kakhulu. Ngicabanga ukuthi it's a good thing, and abekungasebo ke bosisi laba bodwa la siba experience noma la sababadzala nalabancane bebakhona uyayibona i-future ku tennis. Ngicabanga nje ukuthi cishe tonke leti bakubita ngeprojects, cishe tonke letinvo la khuluma ngato president siyatibona naba laba.
I'm happy because yes, I'm happy, Master, because maybe before we get into the actions of the weekend, because when you touch on this project, you just use the word project. Go AGA last month, the annual general meeting, they did touch on how they need to give attention to which tennis and then women. And then I think Bakarenga would see most of the clubs they have now, they are within Babane Manzini corridor. You talk about your correctional tennis club, Matsapa tennis club, all those clubs. Now they want to go as far as there is Mhlume tennis club, but they want to go as far as Elbonje and all the different parts of the country to get more clubs. This was beautiful actions. Now, Master, when you talk about facilities, they seem to have answered that. Now the numbers are coming also. Look at the numbers they had on the day. But I want us to come back a bit on the results. I want us to pick few names there, and I think there are few names now in terms of their results and how they performed. I'm quite impressed because this is from here to where we have South Africans who play at the US Open, these big tournaments. How soon can we play? How soon can we have representative to those tournaments?
In fact, there's a star. Yes, Derek. Namanya, you remember what's last time Nakasha Bruce, everyone was who's this guy announcile ukuthi so khona vele so vele uphamisile sandla ukuthi already vele so fikile yena wabe wadlala naye ke sikhumbuza uGininzo wamshaya 6-1
beautiful 6-1 2 sets
2 wema sets wavela wacacisa ukuthi vele yena utele ufuna ukuqualifya aye kuma quarter finals lencaba ukuthi nakhona nawufuna ubuka ukuthi wabe sesodlala naye Hayden Loeffler kuma quarter finals 6-2 3-6 10-5
which I would say maybe for Loeffler is also a diehard. He had to be finished on 3 sets because other games, most of the games against
in fact the second set why wina yena Loeffler linkaba ukuthi sabona game lenhle kakhulu.
This was interesting, Derek and Loeffler
kakhulu. Next time nje mina ngisho ukuthi abacele I challenge bake badlale bobabili because this young boy Loeffler ngicaba ukuthi utakabe kakhulu Fabrice nawubuka ukuthi ungakhona ukushaya ku second set because ku first set yes angakudla ngalokuthi bosengakhona kumdadisha ukuthi udlala kanjani but second set wakhona ukuthi ubuye ngicabanga ukuthi usuke soyidadishe kahle.
And of course the likes of also also involved in the game. Beautiful results if you look at how the likes of Skhumbuzo Sihle also performed on the day. Master Nangbuga nje now this is mixed doubles. You look at the pre-quarters and you look at also you go down to the quarters. I think Hayden against Sakizwe, Derek, you know, I think look at the results.
Nasobuka kufika ama quarter finals Fabrice uyadlala Hayden upartnerisha naye Sakizwe badlala against Derek nanoncaba lencaba ukuthi nawubuka la kuyakhombisa ukuthi Hayden is a very good player and kuma doubles bakhona ukuthi babashaye bo Derek naye noncaba ngicaba ukuthi le combination yabo ikhona la isingasimixa khona who knows maybe kuma Olympics.
Now talking about the Olympics, this is beautiful because you know we all got to be informed that the day could not be finished. Beautiful, of course, readiness to the tournament as you look at the pictures there, and I think the attendance wasn't that bad as well, in as much as supporters are not that much allowed due to the ongoing COVID.
I must say Fabrice ukuthi yes lo mnyaka ngicaba ukuthi mhlambe lama fans lawa sikhulumile ukuthi attendance kubomake labadlali beyisetulu kakhulu beba 12 ilanga belishisa Loeffler lona adlala naye sibuso Khumalo ngicaba ukuthi
a young talented young man we have, you know, I think he can reach 5 if we are
if ataba focus atawuchubeka abe focus kule sport because uyambona ukuthi udlala ngekutimisela and cishe onke lama basics tennis uyawenda so
under coach Bongani Gunani if I'm not mistaken.
Yes Bongani the name but ngicabanga nje ukuthi naye because you can have a good coach but nangabe wena awungasiko dedicated and le sport ungadikhandli ngato ngicabanga ukuthi kude la uyakhona but yena uyakhombisa lusi uyafuna kufika kulenye level.
The games could not be finished, Master, due to the bad weather that we had over the weekend. We'll take a look at that. But Master, you've watched a lot of crickets. You've watched the US Open, you've watched the Australian Open, you've watched the French Open, you've watched the current ongoing Italian Open. Maybe we're not saying the Eswatini Tennis Association, maybe the infrastructure is wrong, but have we ever seen a sport like tennis at the highest stage being postponed or being put on pause because of the current condition of the weather?
It's ngasho ukuthi they were very unfortunate ku past weekend ukuthi bese seliyana belidvume last time kwaba inkinga yema lights ukuthi bekude ma lights on that one ngaba blame but kuloko ngicabanga ukuthi la ngaba blame khona Fabrice because a natural cause angeke uze uyivimbe imvula angeke uze.
Do we need to cover the place so that the games can be carried on under the conditions?
Siya understand Fabrice kancane mhlambe sitagcina sinayo indoor court ye tennis maybe after about 20 years maybe who knows angadi but kancane asingathathi into bese sibuka kumave la.
But how heavy? I understand what you're saying, Mas. It's clearly it's a point taken. How heavy is there? And we can see the pictures, of course, players rushing to the cars. Maybe in tennis there's also a level as we have in football where the ref ngwelotsa decision okuba ukuthi vele simo sigabi kanganani ukuthi umdlalo angawumisa. How heavy was this run maybe to say let me call out the game to sport? Was the situation worse or just for safety he had to end the game?
Fabrice once lana kunana ma sports now ukhuluma nge-netball ukhuluma nge-tennis ukhuluma nge-basketball once le court yaba manti lana vele kwaba manti la pass kusuke sekuyingodi kulala bazidlalako hence the officials including the referees including the umpires babe sebayikhola off le game belina ke vele lana hayi kuthi beline ebusuku kumantile court belina aliduma futhi limanyata so ngicabanga nje ukuthi beku wise vele benda a very wise decision ukuthi lama games babe sebawakhola off.
And of course, as we can see,
and I must say, sorry,
yes,
I must say, ukuthi atawuqhubeka after 2 weeks lama games lasele because bekusele finally ma doubles and ma singles, so itawuqhubeka in 2 weeks.
And of course, the pictures are showing the intensity and the level of the drops that were, they were there at the Lobamba Tennis Court Center. To say, indeed, 2 weeks in time, we'll have the finals. We know who is the winner. The tournament, for the very first time, that has involved ladies. What an excitement we have for the Kingdom of Eswatini, especially when it comes to sport and tennis. Talking about ladies, there's an ambassador who's been making headlines in the Republic of South Africa. That is Nobuhle Dlamini, not forgetting, of course, who she is in the industry of golf. A short break as we take a look at what she's capable of. When we come back, Pool is on the line.
Ever since I was a young girl, I always dreamed of playing golf. I swung and swung and swung until I realized my dream of becoming a professional golfer.
The season so far has belonged to Nobuhle Dlamini.
With a 5th ranking at the Sunshine Tour Order of Merit, a win in the Joburg Ladies Open and many other achievements under her name, Nobuhle Dlamini, the ladies golf champion, is part of the Supersport Let's Play family.
The hours I spent practicing my golf swing and being physically active ensured that I was mentally sharp for my school books and the golf course. Now more than ever, as we stay away from school and stay indoors, keeping fit and exercise has become critical to maintain a healthy mind and body. Remember to stay safe and play it safe. I'm Nobuhle Dlamini and I'm proud to be part of the Supersport Let's Play family.
If you just join us, this is Eswatini TV. The show is Temidlalo. We're still live. Thank you for joining us. If you're just quite held up with other issues, otherwise it's football that it will be next, and pool and other activities internationally. But for now, we're talking about tennis. Master, I think before we move to pool, there's a bit of maybe misinformation you just wanted to correct for the viewer as we get into pool. Ule fixture is series igakhuluka kula games tennis.
Oh yes, my fixture lesele ma mixed doubles kusemele ma semi-final bese kuthi ma singles kusele ma finals ngiyola latawudlalwa after lo 2 weeks.
Wow, they have it. Correct information, of course, coming from himself, our in-house analyst, Linda Dlamini. Another sporting activity that we'll be giving attention this evening is pool. Knowing that they were also given a green light to proceed with activities, they have been active since then. This weekend, they were active, talking about the big guns, the big, teams, the big, challengers. These are the likes of Correctioners and RSP. They were in actions over the weekend. Nobugana that's Master Ayaj. Against REPC 13-11, Masters against Knicks. What a weekend it was indeed. Good pool.
What a weekend, Fabrice. The two teams bayawina ukhuluma nge-Reps yawina against Mangayane 13-11 ukhuluma nge-Correctional bahamarisha imahlanya 13 ka-3 ngicabanga ukuthi vele those two teams sike sakhuluma even before ngabo ukuthi le league lena bayithathe serious kanganani bese kuba neFrance na ayikade beki pass yakhona ukuthi shaya stairs sakhona eMalkens. In fact bomkhaya laba because le ngicabanga ukuthi yawina iFrance 13 ka-10. So it's a tough very very tough league ledlalwa kahle, but nje the two teams akhombisa kuba namandla kakhulu ukhuluma nge-Reps na Correctional.
Sakhuluma ngayo Master Correctional ukuthi they have new directions from laba parts ukuthi vele hambani thathe lengomisha. The consistency lebanayo very Master for so far since baqalile iyakhombisa ukuthi if anything is to go by, they will challenge for the title.
13-0. Ngicabanga ukuthi that's a very very bold statement from yona i-correctional. Njoba sengishilo ukuthi the two teams akhombisa kuba nemandla kakhulu this season kuleague yakaphuli. So sitawubona ukuthi sitawubona le game yabo ngicabanga ukuthi vele iyawuba i-final before final. Angathi ukuthi kuyakwendekani but siyambukela umbukeli simlanzelele game sibuye simnikete ukuthi now the two teams adlalile kanye ashayana ngibani lo winile. Ngicabanga ukuthi ngekubuka kwami i-reps iyo inqoba le game but sitawubona ezachubeke imali ukuthi khamba njani.
And of course, as Master just highlighted, weekend activities will be on this coming weekend. We talk about pool. We will give a clear attention to the activities of pool, especially the two teams, the two challengers being correctional and reps, to see how they'll be performing. Come Monday, you will have actions, results, and reactions from the teams themselves. Otherwise, moving on. Next item on the agenda is the big day of the Premier League of Eswatini, Dlamini. We won't give it much attention because there is a specific program, of course, that way you are going to hear the detailed information, which is the Thursday program. But for now, just giving a viewer what he missed over the weekend. Master, once again, before we started the show, I was congratulating you with the unama reliable sources. Yeah. And I think for the past 3 weeks, you mentioned that one of the three candidates who were Maka Michael, Peter Touch Magaguda and Stero Mkonda, one of them was going to drop. If you were, it's not a secret, we can tell the public. What happened is that the electoral officer, when he stood, he called the names of the candidates to hear if they were present in the rooms and if they were still running for the race. So he called the then current chairman, which was Peter Magura. He confirmed his presence and he confirmed that he was still running. Makamaikari was the same, but when they got to Peter to Stero Mkonda, he confirmed his presence, but he said, sorry, I cannot proceed. So the words then reminded me twice that here on air you said someone was going to drop in the elections. Congratulations, your sources can be reliable. This is Stero Mkonda.
Yes, this is Stero Mkonda. In fact, for ethical reasons, I couldn't mention the name.
Yes.
But I kept on saying one of the candidates in fact bese we two horse race between yena Tash Makakula na Maka Michael. Fortunately kwendeka lokho ngeweekend.
Ukhuluma ngama ethical reasons. Senyalo seku ethical ke nyalo ukuthi ungasitshela master ukuthi ingabe kwendekeni ukuthi aphule out.
Fabrice, in fact njoba soshilo ukuthi more detailed
this is the
analysis
yes,
itafika on Thursday.
Maka Michael of course confirming his presence.
Yes. Football ngasho even in the previous week ngasho ngathi it's a very very sports lesi igcwele ema politics, dirty politics I must say, if our side, but ke lokho ngicabanga ukuthi ngidakusho detailed on Thursday. But Fabrice ngicela kusho now
yes, the electoral officer reading the votes. Yes.
Yes. The two candidates labagcina balingenela yona i-race. Ndakusho futhi ukuthi wadliwa Mr. Tash Makakula
11 votes against 15 because now ubuka ku master
was supposed to get
it's
11.
26 teams. It's 14 from the Premier League, 12 from the First Division. That's 26 teams. So laba votere Kamaikele babeng 15, laba votere Touch babeng 11. This is Mr. Ngudze Mamba all the way from Tabanguri. Yes, also
he was not supposed to get 11 votes.
Mr. Makakula.
He was supposed to get 3.
Master, send out in the those are the reliable sources.
Yes.
So when they're going to go to Manya 8?
Ngla Mkonda. Labeka Mkonda.
Okay.
In fact, Fabrice ndawuta sengisidwebelele structure
master
before the elections kuyaye siyadi everywhere.
This is Kamaikele.
Yes. everywhere before every election.
Rudolph Matsenj, yes.
Kuba nebamvu labadiscussako prior ukuthi siyokhetha bani nasimkhetha bani simkhethela ini, and the reason why kukhethwe
He looks
Michael,
frustrated. He looks stressed. And this was during the elections already. The elections had started.
yes, he knew
Body
na.
language yasho ukuthi akuhambe.
He knew on this day ekseni kwalapho abesavile ukuthi ngeke baze bamkhethe.
Manje master ngoba ngeke ukuthi tutasitshela nga Thursday because kunemuntu mhlawumbe Thursday kungendeka abe available but available nyalo. So ufuna kuva ukuthi na uthi 10 about out for a 3. Lo Mkhonda about out for a 8. But he
Ngabe kangeka thole 8 Mkhonda.
but out for my uncle.
Mkhonda was supposed to win.
Hey master, I think you're so confused man.
Yes. Don't be confused, Fabrice.
Oh wait. I-absence ya Mkhonda gave a win to Carmichael.
Yes.
So ukuthi i-presence ya Mkhonda bayata win.
But in fact Fabrice njengoba ngisho ukuthi emavote lang 16 bekumele aye kusicelo Mkhonda. 16 votes.
Lokuwenda ukuthi akuwin.
Yes, lebe kumenda ukuthi abe ngichairman we Premier League of Eswatini. But for a reason le amenda ukuthi a drop
Lo tasitshela ngayo ngale scene. Awusitshela ngayo nganyalo master noma you
in fact nangalo lesine Fabrice there is a statement lengidayisho ukuthi after 4 years. Okay, angicela ukusho nakho. After 4 years, angithi Carmichael unangakho emanyaka angichairman we Premier League.
I think our Premier League noma we mean Sundowns the club.
No,
Executive committee.
Premier League, chairman we Premier League. Angithi ukhetho lokuthi abe ngichairman we Premier League.
Yes, yeah.
Una how many years?
But I think there's a time he was chairman but
Sensho ukuthi utawuhlala how many years?
for the next 4 years now.
For the next 4 years.
Yes.
If Carmichael aqhubeka abang chairman kulo 4 years, shothi nyalo sik 2024. If Carmichael nangafika 2024 ang Premier League chairman, I will resign as a sports analyst.
Yes.
Eswatini.
Hold on master. Producer, did you record that? In 2024 Stambuta master kuthi ngabe kwendekile. Bayakurecorda master.
Yes.
Let's say a clip in 2024.
Yes.
Kuthi kwendekile. Master, sithanza ukuthi munabukela singamlahle hlathini master. Imbo siyikhuluma ibe white because khona le imbo enkuluma bathi the white and black.
Yes.
It's either it's white or black. Now, Carmichael is the chairman, is taking over for the next 4 years. Now, Mbuga Master, in terms of lama challenges akho nebholeni, Carmichael, quickly nje we move on internationally. What type of men are we talking about?
Siyathi Fabrice ukuthi iclub yakhe i-team yakhe i-Denver Sundowns ngicaba ukuthi over the years siyibonile ikhicida kakhulu i-development. Ushilo ke na sakhulumela Fabrice washo ukuthi is very sorry kucekela phasi leligama lalenhlangano.
Dawucala bapose master. This is the bapose la. This is the executive.
This is the executive.
Yes, dawucala on the right side of the screen wherever you are Mbugeli, right side. Una Charles Matsebula, executive member.
Yes.
Now Mbuga Charles Matsebula picks Swallows ungathini ngayo.
Feb angathi lokusini why ufune ngende tongeleti. There is a reason why le executive kanje
Kuna Sipho Bembe vovo.
yes
Labanenge sekunethi inkulumo ukuthi vele lama elections they relied too much on him. The reason why it's like this unesandla naye kunethi inkulumo tikanjalo leti tebufakazi.
angifuni ukungena kakhulu lapho but njengoba ngishilo Fabrice ukuthi ngidawutana structure cause lamuhla Fabrice usuke uyangituma le structure ngindasidweba phasi ngikwendele yonke le map ukuthi why kungene executive le kanje ngikwendele ukuthi why ngithi in the next 4 years Carmichael won't be chairman wa Premier League ngikwendele ukuthi in the next 4 years
why you might
in fact next year kutabe kungubani president we football association konke lokho ngicabanga ukuthi ngidawutana ko Thursday ngudesignile.
They have it. For the next 4 years, I will be probably, if everything happens, probably in the next 4 years, you and I, a viewer, will be still entertaining each other, talking about sports and everything. I will remind you the words of himself, Mr. Dlamini, master himself, that the reason why he's not with us anymore at the institution is because he made a claim. That will be in the future, of course. Internationally, a lot is happening. Talk about Tour de France. A young, talented, all the way from Slovenia, by the name of Poka, is the champions. Master Nabugi tournament, lefana na Tour de France. We sikatse Chris Froome, lama experienced person to Gutsiba Hambembi. But this young man took the lead and he's the champions. What an occasion.
He is a champion for ngicabanga ukuthi on a foreign land ukhuluma ngeFrance wase Slovenia a very small country ngicabanga ukuthi udlale kahle kakhulu and nawubuka Fabrice njengoba soshilo ukuthi kube surprise bekungakathwa yena worldwide ngicabanga ukuthi bebabancane kakhulu bamvu bebagatsile ukuthi ayiwine i-Tour de France ya 2020 but ke uyiwinile Fabrice ngicabanga ukuthi asimcongratulating ubuyele nayo inkomishi ekhaya eSlovenia wamukeleka kahle futhi ngicabanga nje ukuthi wende kahle kakhulu.
Talking about other international sports, of course, you talk about Italian Open, Novak Djokovic into the finals, of course, after defeating Casper Ruud, and I think he will face another player, and of course, you look at also the award there. A beautiful picture right now.
Yes,
this is just in. This is just
Djokovic.
In. Yes.
Is the champion.
Yes.
Remember, this is the first tournament like Lalile since suspendiwe.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you just join us on Eswatini TV, this is live. He is the champion. Yes.
He is the champion 2020. Njoba sengisho ukuthi bekuyi tournament yakhe eqala solo suspendiwe yakhumbula ukuthi wasuspendelwa kushaya ngemistake.
Yeah, the lady. Yes.
Yes. So kule tournament lena beka ka statement. I want to believe ukuthi beka ka statement but still ke solo ungemuva kwa Rafael Nadal, solo ungemuva kwa Roger Federer the GOAT. So ngicabanga ukuthi after maybe boma 3-4 years utabe soyabakhanza.
They have it, beautiful stuff, and of course that is a beautiful thing indeed to know that this was a breaking news. This is a breaking story that was done here on Eswatini TV, knowing that he just became the champion, of course, of this year's Italian Open. Otherwise, in football, weekend activities, wow, English Premier League back at its best, and I think Mustang Vengatsi banengila bakala ngale new anthem of the English Premiership. Ngatsi it's not something that by Israel. The song is not kicking in yet because the fans are not there, yes. But at the end of the day, when it comes to what happens on the ground, the activity is the same. No team Liverpool master what they did yesterday. Wow.
Sadio Mane, the African star, ukore 2 goals against Chelsea. But ngaphandle kwale performance yakhe na Sadio Mane, Thiago Alcantara from Bayern Munich was Spain when they record ku Premier League ungene as a substitute half time and kulo 45 minutes loyo when they more passes than any other Chelsea player waka I record they had the most passes in 45 minutes Premier League history.
This is a player singasho ukuthi is the same crop of players wakhula nabo Fabregas or Pedro or Busquets. The Spanish academy.
In fact, Feb Njoba usho usuka khona ku Barcelona waya khona ku Bayern Munich. Pep Guardiola wamnaka Bayern Munich wamthenga. In fact, Fabrice, I owe you you say this over a month ago ukuthi yena Thiago Alcantara utawjoina Liverpool about a month ago. I must say congratulations kwendekile lo bokusho.
Now, talk about other teams. Thinking atikona ku Manchester United master. Now ubukene leba luzenga 3-1 singasho ukuthi it wasn't a good result, especially to the fans. Maybe it's too early kuba chacha noma tikona very thinking already time.
There's a lot of publicity that's going on with Manchester United. In fact, Manchester United fans are not impressed in a coach Wabo. Ole.
This is the player you're referring to.
Thiago, yes. The number 6 or the new number 6 for Liverpool. Alcantara, Thiago. Low in the Premier League record with the most passes. In fact, Liverpool is the new Xabi Alonso or is the new Steven Gerrard. So udlala game lehle kakhulu so sawubona ukuthi ku the next coming days ukuthi kuma games lamanye kuthi utamdlalisa intamqalisa Pep Guardiola but I am sorry Jurgen Klopp so ngicabanga ukuthi ungumdlalo otaba reliable for Liverpool.
Think athi khona Manchester but convincingly 2-1 against West Ham as an offense singathini mas lokumcwanga 3 points but was it convincing the performance?
I'm happy ukuthi Fabrice i-team lenje nge-Arsenal ingastrugglisha against i-West Ham bese seyiyayigrinda le win iyawina. Kule past seasons beyingeke ikwende i-Arsenal lokho beyingagcina seyidliwe uthola ukuthi ayisakhona lokuwina, but under Pep Guardiola uyabona ukuthi i-new defense kuna Gabriel lochamuka khona France wakhona eBrazil ngicaba ukuthi naye wende the more interceptions, wende the more blocks ku Arsenal. So ngicaba ukuthi is coming up okay. Willian yes akaperformanga kahle against West Ham, but ngicaba ukuthi kancane lama players eArsenal naye Mikel Arteta manager lo promotiwe previous week waba from head coach to team manager. So ngicaba ukuthi konke letinvo leto Aubameyang usayini contract lensha ku Arsenal ya 3 years letamgcina ka Arsenal ana 3 years. So ngicaba ukuthi all these teams now ubuka nje ukuthi le front three yabo ya Arsenal ukhuluma Aubameyang. In fact these three players labakhona la bakhuluma French, so balala ndzawonye balala roomini laba nakafika Pepe ku Arsenal wafikela kuye Aubameyang banaye Lacazette wase France, Aubameyang watalelwe France but wase Gabon, Pepe udlale kakhulu eFrance but wase Ivory Coast. So kunaleyo partnership nalok understandana.
Okay, sihambe kakhulu master, but kunetindzaba ngale ngendasi nje Chiefs ngathi kunemciciso omuhle lesokhona and kunethi inkulumo ngathi wathishwa la uthi kungendeka kube ne-assistant. Now Kaizer Chiefs has a new man in charge.
Yes,
as a new coach. Talk about that.
Yes, Chiefs after ihluleke kuwina ileague ithathwe iMamelodi Sundowns bamhambisa coach wabo Ensmidendorp. Nakahamba ke Ensmidendorp bahamba balanza Kevin Hunt. Kevin Hunt labaningi bamati ukuthi waye coacha iCape Town 7 Stars leyabo Ben Makhat, wabuya wa coacha yona iMorocco Swallows yabo Spogo, wabuya wa coacha yona iSuper Sports United leyawina ileague ya 3 kulandzelana iVet. But ke kuVet Fabrice Maseko ukuthi uhleli 7 years wawina ileague inye. So ngicaba ukuthi bamnikile imali wabathenga abadlali, was the highest paid coach before Peter Musemana overtake. Usayiniwe ke ku Chiefs for 3 years. And namuhla Fabrice namuhla ba announce his 2 assistants. Kuna Dylan Shepherd, former winger yayo iMamelodi Sundowns, former winger yayo iVet University. Na atazwane former winger yayo iKaizer Chiefs. And ngikhoke lenye nakhuza nje ke Fabrice lenye message ngithi 2 former wingers nawubuka ukuthi Dylan Shepherd bekadlala ka left, atazwana adlala ka right. So vele ngicaba ukuthi leyo bhola yema crosses my fans Chiefs awayigathe because yamathi Kevin Hunt ushilo wathi akayidlali velena ibhola lengaseko profitable, ibhola litawu iphesolo ipass. Ngicaba nje ukuthi 2 assistant laba former wingers betele yena Nokovic lo striker side Chiefs.
And of course a lot to talk about. Of course, thank you very much Dlamini for being with us, and I think a lot you have covered it. This is himself Kevin Hunt, of course, the new man who has taken the job at the Amakosi. Now, they are happy. They are, of course, in the right mood. Let's see how the season 2020-2021 goes. Otherwise, Dlamini, thank you very much for being with us.
Ngiyabonga Fabrice, kubonga mina, ngibonga kakhulu ema-loyal viewers uyati ke wena ukuthi basonzele kakhulu kanganani la kimi. Ngicaba ukuthi nabo ngeke ngasho before ngathi onke lama-loyal viewers latathi uma kadibana nawo athi uyathi siyabonga master, but ngicela ukuthi ukwenda kanjena nawo. Siyakhula, ngiyakhula neminyaka ngila, but onke lamalanga ngiyakhula.
Uyakhula, but at some stage you will have to live up to the expectation. In the next 4 years, Dlamini might not be working for this institution. He made a claim on a national television that if things remain the way they are, he will step down as the top analyst of the Kingdom of Eswatini. Otherwise, utabadlala kamnanzi, mina ndaqhubeka ndlala kamnanzi.